this is your sixth step and final step of the path to wealth. And this is going to be a pretty quick step, really, because I'm going to tell you to get advice from other people. It's about learning to handle money well. It's about learning what to do with money, how to handle it, how to invest, how to save, how to keep accounts, how to spend your money, how to be a good custodian of money. In order to do that, you need to get advice from the experts in it. And I am not here to tell you I'm some kind of financial expert, but I'm here to tell you that I have had excellent advice from experts, and that has worked really well for me. Starting off with an accountant. If you want to learn how to get yourself to a place right now of being completely in control and in charge of your money, go and have a free session with an accountant. Almost every accountant will do this. Will give you your initial session for free to find out what your needs are and get that ball rolling and get yourself an accountant. Honestly, even if you've not got a business, it makes so much sense to get an accountant, because they know so much. I was just blown away. I was really scared, right, about the finances in my business. First of all, I was scared of the taxes. I was scared of any kind of legislation or things that I didn't know about. I felt like I was doing something wrong because I didn't know about these things. It was really scary to me. And I was keeping on all of my accounts and everything, but not really knowing what I was doing. And this was when I was back in Byron, and I hired an accountant. No, in fact, I wasn't even keeping my accounts up to date. I used to keep my accounts up to date, but I'd let that go. And I think the fear had caused me to let it go. The fear of me not really knowing how to handle these things. And so I just had bags of receipts and all of that. And so I got in an accountant, and it cost me thousands of dollars regularly. It costed me for him to go through all of these receipts and all of my PayPal transactions and everything, and try and piece together what I hadn't been keeping on top of because I was so scared of it all. And then I got to the point when I realised I was paying this man out of fear because I didn't want to look at it myself because I was scared of it. And so I asked him, I said, I don't need your help anymore, but I just need this final thing from you. Could you put together a spreadsheet for me so that I can do this stuff myself? And I'm going to start keeping it up to date because I want to know. I get back to my old self that used to keep, have the checkbook and keep a tally so I know exactly how much money I've got. I said, I don't want to hide from it anymore. I want to do it myself. And so he put a spreadsheet together, and I still use that today. And I started keeping this spreadsheet and writing everything in it. Not every day, but most days I'll go in there and I'll update it. The money that's come in, the money that's gone out. I'm GST registered now, so how much GST I've paid out, how much I've collected in, and each month. So it makes it really easy. Each month when the GST thing comes through and I need to fill that in, it makes it really easy because I've got the information right there. So that was the state I got to. And then I realised, business is growing now, and I want it to grow greatly. And I still don't know beyond the basics what I'm really doing with this, or the best way to avoid taxes. Not taxes. The best way to, just to set it up, to have it set up right, and all of that. And so I asked a friend of mine who's an entrepreneur, who's got a business, if she had an accountant who would be able to help me with this. And she said, yeah, I've got a great accountant, and he actually specialises in entrepreneur stuff. So I went to see him, and I was scared. I was so scared, but he gave me this free session, and I turned up and I said, I thought on my way there, I need to tell him how scared I am, and I need to tell him that he needs to put my mind at rest and just tell me what it is and sort things out for me. So that was the state of mind that I was in then. And so I went into his office and I said, look, I just need to admit to this now. I'm really scared about this stuff. Like, I've set up this business and this is what I'm doing, but I feel completely out of my depth. I feel like I don't even know the legislation or how I should have set things up, or if I've even set things up right. And I don't know about anything. And I'm already registered for GST and I'm keeping a handle on that. But I need you to tell me how to set this up the best way. And he was just brilliant because, I think they're a bit like dentists, accountants. They're used to everyone being scared. They're used to everyone like having to be a bit of a psychologist at the same time. Like, there's a few professions that need that, and dentists is one of them, and accountants are the other. Because most people are scared of numbers and stuff like that, and taxes and all of that. But thank God for accountants, because they love that kind of stuff and they thrive off it, and they think it's just the most interesting thing ever. Isn't it amazing that we have people like that? And so he took me through all of this of setting up a corporation and how to apportion out funds to make the most of, to get out of as many taxes as possible, to secure my business, to make sure that I personally wouldn't suffer if a claim was made against the business, if someone sued the business, to having things in place for what happened to the business if something was to happen to me or if I died. And he knew everything, and he knew the best of everything, and he knew exactly what to do. And I haven't actually, we set out a plan, and I haven't been back to him yet, because that was just under a year ago now, because I was manifesting his view and I didn't manage to manifest it. And I know why I didn't manage to manifest it now was because I was about to tie in my ex into it, and also my son, who is massively abundantly challenged, and I'm stopping taking care of him anymore. He's an adult now. But just so disempowered with money, and I wasn't helping by supporting him so much, and so it was totally the wrong thing to do, even though he gave me amazing advice. I need to go back to him now for a new plan of action, because it's going to be structured differently, but I know that I can manifest that now because it's in alignment with myself. So that's the first thing. An accountant. Doesn't matter if you've not got a business, get to an accountant. Like, they're going to be able to tell you they're going to give you so much advice. Go off recommendations though. It's a good idea. Like, my first accountant was terrible. Looking back, like, this new accountant, he's about to set things up so that I have a business account, and that the accounting gets done automatically from that. That it's all an automated system, so that he doesn't even have to do the work. Whereas the first accountant that I found, when I looked for him myself instead of getting a recommendation, of course was vibing about the same level as me. Was doing it all manually, not in the best way at all. Didn't even talk to me about how best to set it up or any of that. So he wasn't a very high vibrational kind of accountant. And so ask the right people for a recommendation of an accountant who so that you're getting the highest level that you possibly can, and talk to them. Next up, same with a financial advisor. Financial advisors, they know so much. They've got so much information at their fingertips. It's their job. They keep on top of everything. They know what's going on in the governments. They know what's going on with the investments and everything. They know what's best for you. But again, don't find one yourself. Don't find one yourself and get them vibing at the same level as you now. Go to someone like the most abundant person that you know, and ask them who they recommend, and then go to them. And yes, it's going to bring up stuff for you. Just like going into a designer store will bring up stuff for you. But do the Self-Healing 101 through all of that, and go for it anyway. Even if it makes you feel a bit... Even if it brings up stuff for you, do the healing work and put yourself in that situation, because you deserve to have the best advice. And so, what else? So you've got a financial advisor. It's going to tell you all about investments and all kinds of things. Savings. This is something I'm going to tell you about myself, because it makes such a difference. Not just keeping track of your money, which an accountant is going to tell you about, so knowing exactly how much is coming in, how much is going out, and keeping track of it all. It's so important. That's really, really important to do. The next thing is savings. You need to start saving money. Like, if there's one thing that separates the rich from the poor, it is the poor spend all of the money, the rich save some of it. It's that simple. Like, it really is that simple once you start looking at the practical aspects of accumulating wealth, of being wealthy. It is that they don't spend all of it. They don't spend all of it. And you need to start saving right now. You need to start saving right now. And it's not just to make you feel better about yourself. It's not just to make you not feel scared anymore because you've got some money to fall back on. It's to grow your self-worth. It's to grow your wealth. It's like, you deserve to have wealth. You deserve to have money working for you. You deserve to have money investments. The only way you're going to get to that point is not by winning lotto. It is by saving. It's by saving a percentage of the money that's you've got coming in, no matter how little it is. And I know when you've got a little amount coming in, the fear kicks in. You're like, oh, well, I'll need all of this. I'll need to spend all of this money this time. And that's completely the wrong thing to do. If you put away 10%, 5%, 10%, 30%, 40%, 50%, whatever it is that you decide on that's manageable for you, and stick to that, even if you think, well, I'm going to need all of this because I've got a bill for that amount that's come in, still put that 10% or whatever it is away, and you'll see that the universe will give you more. It's like, this is like your expectation. It's your worthiness thing, and it's your expectation thing. It's like saying, no, I deserve this. I deserve to have savings. I deserve to be paying myself by putting money aside for myself, for my growing wealth, for my security, for my investments, to be wealthy. This is what I deserve. And of course, what happens when you do that, when you have an expectation and worthiness, is the universe gives it to you. So keep on doing that. So right now, I want you to decide how much. I want you to take some action. How much are you going to put away? It may be that you're on a fixed income at the moment, although nothing is truly fixed because the universe can do anything, can give you anything. But if you believe that you're on a fixed income at the moment, then you might want to put a fixed amount aside. For me, because I'm on a variable income from my business, I put 10% aside at the moment. Before I bought all the furniture and everything that I did, I started at 5%, and then noticed I was earning more because of that straight away, put it up to 10%, noticed that I was earning even more because of that, put it up to 20%, and I went 30%, 40%, 50%, and I was at 50% when I bought all of that furniture. And then what happened? When I spent all of that savings on putting deposits down on all this furniture and everything, after that my earnings took a dive because of the way that it made me feel, because it took my worthiness away. Once I'd spent that money, I started feeling bad about myself because I'd spent the money, and of course, yeah, worthiness went down and all of that. So be careful of that. Like, this is money that you don't want to spend unless you're putting it into a better investment, okay? But that's what you've got your financial advisor for, and that's what you've got your accountant for, is let the people that know about these things help you. So that's savings, really. Start straight away. So this is like, get onto your bank straight away and get them to set up a higher interest account for you that you've still got a bit of access to, and set up something straight away. You can have them do it automatically, like a certain amount a week or a month, or you can do it percentage wise. And I actually like doing it myself because I like to see what's coming in and going out of my bank all the time. So I look at my bank account every day, and when I see the money coming in, I like to divide it up and put it into the different accounts. So I've got actually 2 savings accounts that I've got in there, and they're both for different things. One of my savings accounts is an account that's slightly higher interest and is harder to get money out. So I get penalised, I get charged something if I take money out of that. And I've got 5% going into that at the moment. No, 10% going into that at the moment. I've got another account which is easy to take money out, but you get less interest from. And that I put 10% into that one too. And so the first one is fully savings that I don't touch, that keeps on growing. I did touch it to get the furniture, but I won't touch it again because it feels horrible and it sends me into financial decline when I do it. The other one is my fun fund. 10% goes into my fun fund, and that is just for stuff that I want. And so when I get my hair done, I'll get it out of there. If I see some clothes or some jewellery that I want, I get it out of that. And it's just for me. That's my me fund. And I would so recommend you getting one of those because it feels great. I'm not sure how much I've got in there at the moment, but I've seen a few things that I want, and yeah, and it all comes out of that one, which is fantastic. So save, it's so important. Start it straight away. And as I said, don't let you believing right now that you have only just got enough, stop you from doing that, because this is you declaring it. I'm worthy of it. I expect it. I expect to be able to have this. I'm going to put it aside right now and watch the universe give you more money. It will. It'll do it straight away because it does. That's how it works. So that's savings. Let's see, investments. Talk to your financial advisor about that. If you've got money in savings already, talk to your financial advisor. Say, how can I get this money to work better for me? Tell them about the level of risk that you're willing to have or not. You know how safe you want it. Everyone's different. I'm a risky person. I get big rewards from being a risky person. Losses, I haven't had any losses, but that's freaky because I've got this amazing intuition. I take high risks and I haven't had any losses, any financial losses, and that's just me. But most of the financial people will tell you that you will get losses as well, as if you do the higher risk things. Listen to them anyway. They know. They might not have the full grasp on how the universe works and everything, so you'll be able to do it even better than them because you'll know all of this stuff too. But listen to what they say because they know about money. So listen to them. How you spend too. So most people, myself included in the last few years, which is kind of embarrassing because I used to be so brilliant with money, spend everything that they get. And if you get a raise, you just spend even more of it. Like you get more money and you're like, oh good, I can get that thing that I wanted now, and you spend all of it, and then you just keep on spending. And some people do it even when they get a windfall, like instead of apportioning it out or going to an accountant straight away or a financial advisor, they start spending it. It's crazy. And then just, put themselves up to that level of spending. And then of course, when it's gone, they're not bringing anything else in. And so it's gone, and they end up bankrupt and losing everything, and probably the friends along with it too. And so don't be like that anymore. Don't be like that. And I'm not suggesting that you start scrimping and saving because that sends you backwards with the universe. I'm not suggesting that you start you'll find some of the lower vibration financial experts will tell you, start spending less than you can't afford these things, start spending less than you are earning, sell things. That is going to send you into financial decline, that kind of thing. There's being smart, and then there's being coming from lack or fear, and some of the financial teachers teach you about that. So you don't want to get involved with those ones. It's about finding that balance of upgrading, of going for the things that you want, whilst being smart about the money. So intend it now. I'm going to attract the financial advisors, the accountants, and everyone that's going to give me advice to be the really smart ones about money. And learn from them. Spending, what else? Yeah, just be really careful with your spending. You don't need to spend all of the money. And, it's like people with poverty mindset or the lack mindset have this idea that rich people spend a lot of money, and it's just not true. It's not true at all. In fact, poor people spend way more money. Go into Target or go into Big W or whatever the shops are, those huge shops that sell a lot of toys and a lot of everything, but most of it's junk and you don't really need it. But go into one of those shops any day of the week or the weekend, and who do you see in there? You see all the really poor people. That's who you see in there because they're the ones spending all the money. You don't see the wealthy ones. They don't see the wealthy ones going in there because they know better than to spend all the money. They know better that they don't need to do that. And at first, and so that most people have that back to front. They believe that, you know, rich people are out there spending lots of money when they're not. It's actually the poor people that spend a lot of money. So really, stop doing that. Look at what you're spending your money on. A lot of it is junk to try and make yourself feel better. A lot of it's clutter to try and make you feel better, make yourself feel better, and actually clutter makes you feel really bad and it keeps abundance from you. So declutter. That is really important. In fact, declutter. Look at what you're spending and declutter. You don't need that clutter. It doesn't make you feel good. It makes me feel worse about yourself. I'm actually really proud of myself because I'm moving out of this place soon and I have beautiful furniture and I have a few boxes of my stuff and there's no clutter. There's absolutely no clutter. And it's all stuff that I love or I need, and there's nothing that's like superfluous or dragging me down anymore. And I guess I kind of got that lesson from giving up all of my stuff twice in my life, because it does feel so much better to have freedom. And so look at what you're spending. And declutter too. Declutter your stuff. If you want something new in your life, then get rid of the old stuff. Get rid of the stagnant energy. Get rid of old friends, or get rid of anything that's tying you down to these low vibrations, especially around money. Learn how to be a good custodian of money from experts. Now you can do this with books too. There are some amazing books out there. And there's some not so amazing too. I can't even remember her name. She's on Oprah a fair bit. And she tells people whether they can afford something or not. And I read one of her books and there was a lot of good information in there, but there was a lot of fear-based stuff, a lot of fear-based stuff in there. And so just take what you need from these books. One book, which is amazing, is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And it's by someone called Robert, I don't know, it's a Japanese name or something like that. Robert somebody or other, and it's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I've got it on my Kindle. And this guy had a poor dad and grew up with a poor dad, but his best friend had a rich dad. And him and his friend decided to make some money. When, you know how you do when you're a kid. Did you? I did. You decide to make some money, and so you set up a little stall on your street, or you decide to, you know, make some cakes and sell them, or whatever it is that you did. They decided to make some money, okay? And so they went to kind of both dads, asking them about it. How can we make some money? And the one, I think the poor dad told him to get a job or something, and the rich dad said, well, if you want to learn from me, then you're going to have to commit to that, you know? And so they decided to commit to it, to learning from the rich dad. And so what happened was it put this guy in an amazing situation where he had like these two dads. One that was his real dad with poverty mindset, one rich dad that he was learning about making money from, because they'd asked him how to make money. And of course, someone that's wealthy, if someone asks you to make money, then you'll tell people how to, because it's really interesting to do that when somebody actually asks you for advice. And so he got these two opposing points of view, and from that great clarity about the difference between the poor and the wealthy. And so read that book. That's a great book. And open yourself up. Ask the universe to be shown the information that you need to know about being a good custodian of money. Learn from the experts. That's all that this is about. It's like for the practical stuff, just learn from the experts. Be careful which experts you go to. If you're vibrating at a low, I haven't a clue about this, or I'm scared about it way, don't find an expert yourself, because you're going to attract somebody that's not very good at it. And you don't want that. So ask someone that's vibrating at a much higher wealth level than you to give you a referral, and learn from the experts. And also, if you do find a great book or something that's really taught you how to be a great custodian of money, share it. Share it in the Inner Circle Facebook group, so that we can all learn from that too. It really is amazing once you open yourself up from support from experts that know about these things, instead of trying to figure it all out yourself, instead of trying to do it all yourself, and instead of trying to be an island when we're actually all one, is to allow people that do what they do best to do that for you. And that in turn gives you the opportunity to do what you do best for other people, and opens a gateway. When you start asking people to help you and then they help you, you're opening up that gateway just so much more. It's like it's your expectation of support from those around you, expecting for it to be easy, expecting to get the best of the best information that there is around them. And it works. It works. So that's your practical money thing. As I said, I'm not a financial advisor, but I advise you to go to financial advisors and accountants and these people that know specifically for you or the best way of doing things. I know some people have a big problem with corporations and with people that have a lot of money because they try and get out of taxes. And it surprised me when my accountant told me that a corporation would be best for my business. And I explained why and the setup of that too. And it makes total sense. It's because if you're a good custodian of money, why would you want to give a lot of your money to governments when the governments are really useless, like really useless? Have you noticed? Our governments are really useless. They don't spend it well at all. Not at all. Like we personally can make better decisions than they can. I don't know, they're just in some kind of an alternate reality, politicians, and they're not good leaders and they don't make good decisions about our money. So why would you give it to them? I know for some people it's that you think that you believe that money is going to poor people. You believe that money is being apportioned out in benefits and stuff to people. But that's not what's happening. There's a very small percentage of it doing that. And it'd be much better for you to keep that money and actually do that yourself, because then that money would be correctly allocated. They're not spending it on things like that. They're spending very little on that. They're spending it on war, and they're spending it on tanks and planes and stuff like that for war. That's what the majority is on. And they're spending it on locking people up, and they're not spending it on the positive things at all. You can make much better decisions about your money than they can. And so get it out of your mind now that there's something wrong in avoiding taxes and rich people avoiding taxes. There's nothing wrong with it at all. It's completely up to them what they do with the money, rich people. It's just as it's completely up to you what you do with your money. When you're rich, you can do whatever you want with it. You can, have foundations, you can set things up, you can buy land with it and have people look after it as natural land. What's the word I'm looking for? I love it when people do that. That's something that I'd be really interested in doing as well, is restoring back to the original habitats to buy land. Imagine having so much money you could buy large amounts of land and then pay the people who are experts, who know about these things, who know how to restore places back to their original environment and clean it up of the chemicals and get the wildlife back in there again. Imagine that. Imagine how good you'd feel in doing that and the positive effect you're having on the environment. So forget about what other rich people are doing with the money, because in all likelihood you don't know what they're doing with their money anyway. You haven't a clue, because they'll be keeping it quiet. What they're actually doing with money, they won't be telling everyone, and there's very little of that goes on. You'll hear about people setting up foundations, and that's something that people do to avoid taxes. Again, they set up a foundation and the money goes into that, so that, as I said, so that they can actually use that money to do good in the world, because it's not going to do good by going to the government. You can do all of that too. It's funny, I was reading I think it was a blog or an article or something, and it was about rich people and the good, like the philanthropic work that they were doing, and it had top 10 rich people or something in the philanthropic work that they do. And I read the comments at the end of it, And it's so funny. This guy had said, oh great, yeah, they're all telling everyone about all these good works they're doing, but I'd really like to see them do something in secret. And it's like, you can't see someone do something in secret. Like, they probably are, but you wouldn't know about it because they're not going to tell you about it. So I thought that was particularly funny because I don't think he realised what he'd said there. But yeah, you can do whatever you want with money, and don't think you even know what other people are doing with money unless you ask them. And if you do ask people with money, then there will be, as long as they know you're not going to attack them for it, as long as they know that you want to learn from them, then they're going to be totally open to teaching you about it. And so open yourself up to the experts and those that have money. Learn from them. Don't learn from people that don't have any money. Don't learn from people that have never had any money. Don't learn from spiritual people who always keep on telling you the lies about gratitude and positivity. That only gets you to be happy, and you can be happy and you can be wealthy too. So learn from the people that know about money, about wealth, about accumulating wealth, about saving, about investing, about all of that, and have fun with it. Decide what you want to do with your money, the difference that you want to make in the world with it, and do that and get on with it. So there you go. So it's all about you, and it's all about what you can do in the world and how you can make the world a better place. And isn't it fantastic? I think so. I think it's fantastic, and everyone, like spiritual people, are all being called to do this now. Like here, people at channel like me, we're all being given this. We're all being given this advice to really get on with the abundant stuff now. It's time. It's time the world was completely changed, and it's not going to be completely changed by governments. Not at all. They're just going to keep on taking it in the direction it's going at the moment, which isn't particularly exciting, nor doesn't make me particularly happy. But it's time for us to step up, and it's going to be entrepreneurs, and it's going to be spiritual people, and it's going to be when we stand in our power and get that power through the wealth and the power, and do something about things are going to change. So there you go. Really, you can't afford to miss this step out. This is really important. You need to get advice from the experts. You need to learn about money. You need to learn how to be a good custodian of money. I did. That's how I got wealthy in my 20s. I learned. I was taught it when I was a kid by my dad, and it was really good. And I turned my back on that because I started believing spiritual people. And so I was like, I can trust the universe. I don't need to keep a tally on my accounts anymore. Honestly, that is what just trust. I'll just trust. Lost all my money. I really lost a massive amount of wealth straight away through that. So learn about money. There's nothing wrong with it. It's great. Learn from the experts. So share away. Keep going through this. Go through this whole process over and over again. Share in the Inner Circle Facebook group how you're getting on with it. Keep going with it. And the more you can share, the more you're going to get it straight in your head as well of what's going on. It's like, journal it too. Don't just share it in Facebook so that we can give our perspective on it. Journal it too, because it gets it straight in your head. You'll get more ahas. You'll get more. Just the act of writing it down or telling someone allows you to process more and more of it. So do that and share. And don't worry. Like I've admitted in this all the crap that I've done with money. You're allowed to admit that you crap with money. Because when you admit to that, when you're honest with yourself and you really feel how that feels, then you can get on that track to what you really want, the wealth that you really want, and the difference you really want to make in the world. So I'll see you in the Facebook group.